All right, finally, Cameron Diaz.
No. It's, Lynn Campbell Cameron?
Paul Cameron.
Paul Cameron. Dr. Paul Cameron. Yes.
Dr. Paul.
Hello, sir. How are you?
It's a beautiful day. It's great.
Where are you at? Yacht?
I'm in Colorado Springs.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
We'll get right to this. You're a gay basher, right?
Pardon me?
You're a gay basher.
I don't think so.
Okay.
People who choose to become, so to speak, parasites on society
Oh, boy.
ought to be encouraged to get out of the business.
So you're saying people are choosing the homosexual way or lifestyle?
Well, they most certainly do. People may or may not acquire a desire to engage in homosexuality any number of ways. But whenever you act on it, it's like an adulterer. A lot of people, anyone who's married has been tempted just about to be an adulterer or an adulteress, but when you act on it, well, that's when you've crossed the line.
All right, so the reason we have you on today is because you're now discussing with people the problems in our military, and you're basically saying the reason our military is failing in Iraq is because of the homos.
No.
That's what I read.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is...
What are you saying,
Hillary
Dickweed?
Clinton says, if I'm president, gays go in the military, or I'll sure try to. And I think that would be exceptionally stupid, because we just had a trial down in Elgin Air Force Base in Florida of Captain Devery Taylor. You may have read about him. He drugged and raped 4 men in the military. These are guys that served with him and attempted to rape 2 others. If he were unusual, that'd be one thing. But it turns out that homosexuals in the military very frequently do these kinds of things. And we know that because they have produced their own study called My Country, My Right to Serve, commissioned by homosexual Congressman Jerry Studs. And in there, they had almost 200 different, I guess you'd say, personal testimonies of people who served, and they chose 42 to share with us, the general public.
Okay, Dr. Nutsniffer, how does somebody being gay affect their performance in the military? We're all just people, right?
It's taking them too long to put on their makeup.
Oh, I see. And
they're banging in the showers.
And they're running their heels. Right.
Playing with naked G.I. Joes all day.
How does it affect their performance?
Great question.
Big guy.
It affects it quite a bit. For instance, in the study the homosexuals produced, about a third of them admitted to raping other members of the military.
Yeah, right.
What about, and heteros rape too,
I'm
though?
not making this up. You can read it
Yeah,
yourself.
the hell you're not. I
Well,
think you
read the
bash
book.
the gays because they make you hot.
Pardon me?
You actually are gay yourself.
Hardly. I'm married, been married for...
That doesn't mean anything.
To a guy named Bruce.
Well,
Yeah, how many married guys are on the internet trying to hook up with another guy? Why are you so obsessed with this?
That's true.
It's my understanding that you are. It's my understanding that you're a gay basher and you're obsessed with gay men.
Right.
Well, I'm concerned
There we
about our
go.
society. I've got grandkids that I want to have something to...
Will you love your grandkids if they turn out to be gay?
Well, I love them. I would be concerned about them.
Yes or no? Would you love them?
Will you love them and accept them for who they are?
Simple yes or no, buddy. Yes or no? Will you love them?
And accept them for who they are.
I would love them, but I would tell them, get out of it, kid.
Get out of what?
Oh,
foxhole?
If they go into contract murder, or if they go into flitting around, jacking up... with other
You're
people,
equating
or
being homosexual to being a murderer?
slavery.
Oh, this guy's twisted.
Answer the question. Are you equating those? You think these are on the same level, homosexuality? Someone being in love with someone, you equate that with murder.
It's actually in many ways worse than murder, as has been pointed out by any number of thinkers down through the centuries. It corrupts people who are interested in having sex with members of their own sex are usually personally corrupted, and they go out of their way to corrupt others.
This is brutal.
That's a difficulty.
Really?
That's why it's a good idea if you have same-sex attractions to not act on them, and it's a good reason for society to discourage this kind of thing.
Do you think that society? Do you think that these people can be deprogrammed for being a homosexual? Because you see that all the time in the church.
I see quite a few. And
is this a church thing?
I don't know.
Who used to do it and no longer do it. You can find many of them on the internet, and you'll find other people who said, "Well, I tried it and liked it, so that's what I am."
You're the chairman of Family Research Institute. The chairman of the Family Research Institute. What is that?
We do research. We publish in the scientific literature. One of the studies that you might find interesting came out in 2005. It's an analysis of one of the largest random surveys ever done by our government. And our government, the CDC and the National Survey on Household Drug Abuse, determined that for the approximately 1% of adults who engage in homosexual relations last year, they were about twice as apt to be involved in the criminal justice system.
Do you guys believe something is wrong in his mind, that he's partially tweaked to stay on this and to be so obsessed and so
life's work about this?
We all know that you can't say, for example, all Germans are bad, or all Jews, or all blacks, or all Puerto Ricans.
He says all homosexuals.
You can't say all homosexuals are more likely, to take society down. There are many people that are involved in the relationship, and they don't get involved in other things outside of their relationship.
Something happened.
But for you to be so obsessed with this, I think you were either molested or raped, or your brain is tweaked.
Or you haven't had enough yet.
Well, first of all,
Dr. Fudgenheimer.
As a matter of fact, I was raped as a child.
Well, then there we go. You're obsessed by this.
I'm not. I really didn't interest me until I became a
Christian,
a PhD researcher.
Oh, okay.
And
well, then listen.
For instance. Every citizen.
As a PhD, he should know that something is still wrong with his brain. Right. What he's wanting to do now is go out and take down every guy out there that has a relationship because of what happened to him as a child.
They're all that one guy in his head.
And you're not going to get all the people that, people with common sense to buy into this. You can't judge the entire world because you were raped, sir.
Well, I think that's just a sort of a minor note in my...
I don't think so. I think it was a 7-inch note.
Dr. Cameron, do you believe that homosexuals are just as valuable human beings as people that aren't?
Well... Perhaps to... no,
I mean, what if a homosexual was dying and needed CPR on the ground? Would you give him mouth-to-mouth?
It would all... Sure. But let's go back to...
butt-to-mouth.
Just because somebody is a citizen, that is, pays taxes, doesn't mean they're useful. Obviously, a lot of people are child molesters. That doesn't make them first-class citizens. And likewise with homosexuals. When they don't, they cost more. Right now, 1 out of every 6
homosexuals cost more.
On the hoof.
Listen, I could make the same argument that blacks cost more. But that's going to be my own hatred spilling out over the radio like you're doing just because you got butt slammed.
And he might have a point with interior design. They do. They have nicer furniture.
Don't you think it's fair that people that run around and get diseases like AIDS...
it's not just a homosexual problem, pal.
...discriminated against when they cost us all about $35,000 per year.
Do you feel the same way about black people? Do they cost us a lot of money?
No, actually, they contribute. They have children. They contribute more.
Many of them are out of marriage.
It's where I get my crack. Yeah.
Well, once again, you don't want to talk about the empirical reality with people costing because of their behavior. Every one of us, the average homosexual on the hoof, costs...
Oh, he just said every one of us, the average homosexual.
Right.
Yeah.
So this guy's a homosexual.
Just because of the diseases that they have and for which we have to pay. Now, heterosexuals get diseases too, but they are nowhere near as expensive.
What, are you kidding me?
Well, for instance, the CDC...
Wow, for instance.
People who smoke cost all of us about $3,500 a year. But using their same criteria, the average homosexual costs us over $10,000.
This is so weird how obsessed he is.
Doctor, we've got the phone lines.
He's tweaked. His brain is tweaked.
Yeah, the phone lines are cramped for. They want to talk to you. Megan in Long Island, you're on with Dr. Krampenstein.
Dog House.
What?
Come on.
Come on.
Go ahead, Megan.
Guys, I love your show, but hey, listen, this guy is a complete moron. You know what, man? You make my blood boil. My uncle was gay, and he wasn't even flamboyant. No one even knew.
Oh. Wow. Right, but is he still alive?
Actually, he passed away from cancer, and no, he had passed away from AIDS.
How old was he,
complete moron.
How old was he?
You're screwed up. Yeah. I can't believe they gave you a PhD.
Lots of people die from cancer. Yeah,
Megan, thanks for the call. What does it matter how old he is?
What does that matter?
It makes a difference because on average, homosexual men and women live about 20 years less than non.
What a freak.
So
yeah, you know what?
Well,
we've had.
You think about it when you.
We've had friends of the family, and I'll say the same thing on their behalf. That my mom actually dated this guy that was gay, but he had to hide it and pretend that he was, heterosexual, or he'd be beaten on the streets because of people like this. So after that, he finally was able to come out, and he had a husband, nicest guy in the entire world, lived a long life, a great human being.
Probably gave back to society.
Just recently died. Yeah, was just the most kind person. No matter how much hate was poured on him, he gave back to society. It's just idiots like this that are going to put him and the last person all into one category. I can't believe, like she said, that you're a doctor. You sound like an effing moron.
Well,
the only way I'm going to give you some
psychologist, I know what I'm.
I'll give you some slack because I think any psychologist would know that once you're raped as a child, then you're gonna harbor all this hatred.
Totally. Vito in Jersey, go ahead. You're on with the doctor.
Yo, dog ass.
What?
Yo, this guy's a tool bag, man. I was in the military. That has nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
This guy sounds like half a fag himself.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of stats here, and it basically. It makes the military look like it's just all a bunch of homosexuals, banging each other, and our military can't even get anything done because it's been overtaken by homosexuals.
Right. Let's go to Gabe in the Bronx.
Wait, what's he saying? What are you saying?
If one of you might read My Country, My Right to Serve. That's the book I was referring you to. It's available.
It's a hate book.
I think you'll be shocked to see what homosexuals present as their argument as to why they ought to be allowed in the military. Let me read you an excerpt here. Here's a gay. He's enlisted.
This is your book? I'm not interested. Yeah. What's the next call?
Let's go to Gabe in the Bronx. Gabe, what's up?
Dog out.
What?
Come on.
Get down, Gabe.
Yo, Dr. Crankshaft is right, man. These gay guys make it so hard for ordinary God-fearing Americans like me to join the Army so we can drug and rape people.
Good one. Thanks, buddy. Let's go to Bruno. Bruno, go ahead.
Bad gays.
Hey, I'm not a big fan of homosexuals either, but this guy, is an idiot. And he definitely got a horse by his dad when he was a little guy.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
Dr. Cameron.
Sure.
How does it make you feel when someone makes a generalization about, let's just pick a minority group, blacks, or let's say Puerto Ricans, and says they're all dirty, or they're all bringing this nation down, and they're all disgusting, and on average they're this and they're that. Does that bother you at all, or do you come back to your senses and say we need to judge every individual on an individual basis?
Well, you can't judge every individual because
yes, you can.
We're all different.
You don't lump people in together.
Well, I'm sure God can, but individuals.
So that's what this comes to.
See, exactly.
Hate from God.
Yes.
God taught you to hate, right?
Just go ahead and admit, this is how you think. You think that God does not like homosexuals or hates them, right?
Well, that's what, if you believe in the Bible, if you believe Christianity.
All right, who raped you?
That's the case.
Who raped you?
Pardon me?
Was it your daddy? Who raped you?
I don't know who it was. It was a stranger who came into my neighborhood when I was 4.
Right. Did he kiss you?
That's what. Yeah, that's the only reason you got to kind of
Actually, I feel really bad.
Yeah, that's why you dismiss everything this guy is saying.
Yeah, it's all twisted.
Dr. Cameron, you do understand this, right? And listen, do me a favor. As you continue on your radio and television tour, say that right up front, that you were raped as a child by a man, so that we can then dismiss. Then after that, we'll dismiss everything that you're saying, and then we'll have some understanding as to why you're such a dickweed to an entire group of people.
Right.
I actually understand now.
Right. Why you're so bitter.
Make sure you say that up front, though, all right?
Well, if you're interested in data, satirical material.
We're not interested. Listen, the KKK comes up with data all the time.
Material.
Hitler comes up with data. We don't need your data for the hate. We understand what happened to you and where you're going.
Right.
Well, I'm afraid you guys are more Freudian than I am.
I think you're latently a fudge packer.
Colon ski miner.
Once you had it, I think you loved it, and you've been holding back for too long.
Yes.
Just go out, get some leathers on, and go out to a gay bar.
Yeah, some chaps. You made the mistake. You're probably married now. You went out of the marriage, and now you're acting out, right? You're just doing it to meet dudes.
Nobody is obsessed by something like this.
Right.
Unless they're either gay or something happened to them.
Particular topics all the time, and this happens to be mine.
Okay.
I'm interested in drugs and sexuality.
Well, who isn't? Drugs and chicks.
Particularly homosexuality. And drugs and homosexuality.
And rock and roll, baby. Okay.
You think in terms of, think of the people with HIV.
What about them?
Yeah.
Well, they're disproportionately homosexual. Do you think they fell out of the sky or something?
If you want to go on a worldwide look at
you don't know what you're talking about.
Idiot.
All those people in Africa, the majority of people that have died from it.
Hey, let's talk about...
We're not homosexual.
Good data.
Excuse
me?
me?
Here, about over half, or around half, of all those with HIV in the United States...
Let's get out of the United States. It's a worldwide disease. Let's talk about all the people in Africa that died from it.
Well, unfortunately...
Such an idiot.
Me.
These kids were born with it.
California, where we have pretty good
You are so screwed in the head, pal. You should be taken behind the shed and
infected in California.
He was.
HIV.
You can crap up so it works for you.
Yeah, how do you know that all of these... So you're saying all of these African people...
Yeah.
They did a homosexual act, so that's why they're all dying of AIDS.
I didn't say they all did.
Yeah, the majority of them.
The majority of them did.
The majority of them, that's what you're saying.
No, a large proportion.
You're a dickweed.
Of them had the business sex.
All right, listen.
Pretty reliable.
All right, hey, Mr. Homo, get off the phone, all right?
And that's what,
hey,
as a
dipstick.
scientist, feel we have to do.
Hey, dummy.
This is what we have to do. That the disproportionate amount of people have
They earned it.
All right.
They earned their... Yeah, okay.
Hey, dummy. Dr. Dummy.
Hey, Cameron.
Yes, sir?
Hang up the phone, you dickweed.
Get out of here. You're a joke to society, bitch.
Well, I'm...
Hang up the phone!
Get off our phone! Get off the phone! Hang it up!
It doesn't change.
You had your minute of fame, bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have your wife call me, too, if she wants a real man.
If you want to know
I will
the truth,
hit that to know...
I'll be glad to chat with you.
Yeah, I bet you
hang
would.
up the phone.
In your underwear, right?
Well, in my skivvies, it depends on if you want the pee-pee stain ones.
Well,
that's what I'm saying to you right now, because I think you guys are making me a little bit hot there at Free FM in New York City. Hi, just so no.
Would you stop? You're driving me nuts over there.
Sorry, dude.
All right, doctor, hang it up.
He's not going to. Doctor? Dr. Paul Cameron. Sir, are you there? All right, good.
Coming up next on the